I'm great. Hello, welcome to Three Black Docs. We are so happy to see you. I know it's been a long week. We're so happy that you are spending your Friday night with us. So take a minute, go get something to drink, go get a snack, and we will be right back with you. Hello, my ladies.
Hey, what's
Oh,
happening?
How are you? So happy to have
Good.
Dr. Karen Wingfield, Dr. Tiffany Avery, and myself. We love having lives with you all. So, how was everyone's week? What's going on? What are you drinking?
Well, okay, so we were supposed to be toasting the end of 2020 tonight. So the only thing I know how to have for a toast is good old champagne with a little touch of chambord for the pinkish hue, which is a requirement for all of my celebratory drinks this season, and you know why. Um, So anyway, yeah, I got some champagne and chambord to toast the end of this year and the beginning of the new year. So I'm excited. So
Oh,
excited.
all
awesome.
right.
Very
Dr.
cool.
Wingfield.
Yeah, so I'm actually doing something festive for the season and got my little K-Dub mug and
Oh,
have some warm. This is a whiskey cider, something like that. It's like a whiskey, but it's cider. So
Hmm.
cheers, y'all. That's what I have. Plus, as we get into our talk later on, I got a little extra something for y'all.
Oh,
not
okay. I'm
extra. Okay,
intrigued.
what's
Let's
the
see.
bonus?
It's always
With the
extra.
bonus?
It's always
Well,
Man, yeah, I'm here for it.
I am a woman of varied taste.
okay.
And, class is what I like to think of myself as. And so Dr. Avery was saying a few weeks ago about something, this Topo Chico,
Oh,
What?
and
Oh
I
man,
literally had no idea what she was talking about.
I didn't either till like a month
I,
ago.
yeah, I was like, what in the world is she talking about? So I went to my favorite local Publix, and what do you know? I see a Topo Chico. So this is a twist of grapefruit Topo Chico with my red and right straw. And I have on my jacket here um, to
yeah.
celebrate
We're
the
all a little
occasion.
festive today, right? Although,
Not me, but unless
yeah,
yellow's festive, maybe it is. I don't know.
you could at least put some green on. I know you're like maybe red averse.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, I always have something at the ready that
Oh
has
goodness.
green in it.
There we go.
So
Oh
There we go.
goodness.
just saying.
Must we? Must we? Must we?
Well. So I tell you, one of the things I was thinking about was, it is the end of 2020. We are now just about 7 months into the podcast. It'll be 7 months.
Believe
And
it?
can you imagine?
I can't believe it.
And we've had some amazing like things just happen. You think about all of our guests, right?
Had
So
some fantastic guests.
we had some fantastic guests. Dr. Erica Dressa. We had Tanya Hicks. We just had like a breadth of specialists come on.
Yes, Dr. Kim
Hmm.
Sterling.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had
Yeah.
patients come, patient advocates come and join us, and so it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing 7 months so far, and just want to thank our listeners and those folks who tune into the pod, which is great. And we've also partnered with lots of folks, right?
Right. And I think the partnerships have been amazing. And, when we started this, I really thought, maybe a few people would listen and who knows what would come out of it. But I really had no expectations, and this has exceeded my expectations. And I think the most important thing, we've actually been able to help people. And that was the goal we want to meet you where you are. We want to take our white coats off and bring medicine to you. So
Yeah.
it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so grateful to
Yeah.
know like what can happen when you just step out on faith.
Yes. And
You
Yeah.
know,
when you get stuck in a COVID pandemic, because that's how all this happened, right?
Correct.
exactly.
Correct. Yes. And, you know, as you two know, I still am probably in a little bit of denial that all of this goes on anyway. Like we we put the episodes out and then I just kind of shut it out of my mind. So thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone every week. And
Yep.
one day I will acknowledge that this is all happening. So thank you for that. But yes, the whole point is to try to meet people where they are and get these very important messages out there. So I'm thrilled that we started this. So thank you guys for pushing me and forcing me
Wow.
to get out of my comfort zone. So
Yeah, no,
cheers.
but yeah, cheers. And you think about all the amazing, I'm thinking about fertile soil, some of the places,
Yes.
the collaborations,
Yes.
we collaborated with Fertile Soil,
Yes, in North Carolina.
in North Carolina.
Fertile ground in North Carolina.
Yeah. Is it fertile ground or
Fertile ground.
Oh, Lord,
How many?
I think I
That
need
was growing. It was so good. They're helping with food deserts.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And you think about our MBC Life, right? So metastatic
Yes.
breast cancer, living beyond breast cancer, Healthy
Mhm.
Churches 2030 with Dr. Purnell and the Balm in Gilead. So, it just goes on and on. And Tiger Lily, right?
Yes.
We've been able to really collaborate with some amazing, amazing folks. And I think it's just going to get bigger from here, y'all. So, Tiff, you better get ready.
Right.
Don't.
Essence, we're waiting for you.
I'm gonna continue to act like none of this is happening, except for Essence, of course.
Sign us up. We'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if I can get some sound here, y'all.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you we can hear you fine.
Okay, it wasn't echoing too much.
No.
All right, good. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off then, because it's messing up my weave anyway. So
We don't want that to happen. Not on a Friday night.
not on a Friday. Not like I have anywhere to go, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think I always feel like the end of the year can be and the holiday season can be really challenging for folks.
Right.
And I do want to take a few moments just to acknowledge that this has indeed been a very difficult year for many reasons. But the pandemic started early in the year. We started on lockdown in March. And I tell you, within a few months, some of us have lost people due to COVID.
Right.
And I
Right.
wanted to acknowledge that. My uncle passed away in May due to COVID. And there are now over 250,000
Right.
people who have died because of this pandemic. And so it's a little bit with a heavy heart that we talk about some of the good things that have come out of this pandemic, including this
Right.
podcast. But I do want to recognize that if you've lost loved ones due to COVID, or if you have loved ones who have been in the hospital because of COVID, please put it in the chat box. Please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to celebrate them. So please make sure you put their names in there for us. And I think that would really be fitting for us to talk about that. There's good news on the horizon, right, with the vaccines that are coming out, but we know that it's going to be months. It's going to
Right.
be months before it's
Right.
publicly available,
Right. And, COVID has impacted everyone. I mean, even I was telling Dr. Avery before we even came on that, unfortunately, we just lost a family member due to COVID. And this is it's a horrific disease. And my heart goes out to everyone. I mean, it's hard to lose a family member, but it's also hard to not be there
Mm.
and to not, feel them, touch them, and really talk. So just keep everyone who, like Dr. Karen said, who has been impacted by this disease. Keep them in your prayers, keep them in your thoughts. And more importantly, let's be wise during this holiday season and keep yourself safe, because even though a vaccine is coming out, we still need to be safe and we still need to be careful.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, for those of us who are still going in the hospital, it's still scary. I mean, we're still getting exposed. Literally, we are getting exposed every day.
Every day.
So if you
Every day.
can just do what you can to keep us and everyone else safe,
Yeah. So
that's all we ask.
mask up, wash your hands, keep socially distanced as best as possible. And
Absolutely.
I'm in a situation right now where I'm not in clinic, and I'm grateful for that. And so, Z, I think about you all the time because I know you're in clinic, you're doing inpatient medicine,
Right.
and there's all of these folks who, not all of these, but there are some. This is all made up. It is not.
No.
And the hospitals are being overburdened right now. So let's do our part. And let's do our part for those who have already suffered, who either had coronavirus, who have lost someone, who've been touched by coronavirus personally. Let's keep this up for them and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to keep everybody safe. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Amen.
I do want to acknowledge, too, the other folks we've all been touched by coronavirus, right? Think about the patients who've been diagnosed with cancer, the people who've been diagnosed with cancer, and have had to go through that journey solo. So, okay, Tiff, well, I don't know what that was, but she got somebody joining her. I think about my friend Kim Bartis, whose husband was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and who now herself has inflammatory breast cancer and is going through treatment. Both of them going through
Right.
last week by herself. And so I think about folks like that, who've had to take on cancer, during a pandemic. And again, I just want to say to folks who might be listening, if you're one of those, please put your name in the chat box. We'd love to lift you up and make sure that we are being thoughtful about this journey that you've been on this year as well.
Right.
I think that's well said.
That's good.
Dr. Avery, is there a balloon floating behind you?
Going on.
What is happening right now?
Well, on that somber note, back to the spirit of celebration. Something that we've done over the pandemic is when someone has had a birthday, we have let the balloons kind of do whatever they're going to do through the house. So these are the last vestiges. Now, I didn't get any fresh balloons for my birthday in November, but whatevs. These are the balloons from October, from my youngest son's birthday. And I think there are 3 of them that are still floating about the house. So I let them do what they're going to do until they poop out. So yeah, that was a birthday balloon from October that has found its way in my office and is floating about, catching the heat waves from the heater, just kind of bobbing around. So we're trying to do what we can in the pandemic to keep things festive and uplifted. So
yeah, that's
what that is. It's kind of odd though, because the balloons show up in weird parts of the house, like in the upstairs hallway at 11:30 at night, or and you're like, what?
Those balloons a lot.
That would not be.
So it's a thing.
No, we're not having balloons.
We just see how long they can last. But these are all Dollar Tree balloons. P.S. How did my life change when I found the balloons in the Dollar Tree?
Oh, those are some of the best balloons. Those are some of the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
For real?
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All
Anyhow.
right, well, so let's go ahead and move this on. We're supposed to be.
Let's move it on.
No, this is good. This is a good start. You talk about celebration. So again, there are really good things that have happened. We started talking a little bit about the podcast, but I do think that a lot of what's happened in this country, even you think about what's happened in November. So Dr. Z, you're usually the one who comes up with, since the last time we met, this is what happened, right? So let's see.
Oh, there's been so much. Are we just?
Go ahead, you start.
What are we just saying? What's happened in November?
Yeah, in November.
Or are we thinking about 2020 in general?
Well, we can talk about 2020 in general, but I'm just thinking about the last month. all right. So I started a new job on November 1, right? Which is like amazeballs. Really cool.
So
In
I,
November.
I mean, November's been a strange month. I'll tell you, the first week of November, we were all in front of the TV. So I
Yes.
think everyone missed the first week of November because we were waiting on election
I
results.
already forgot that happened this
That
month.
was in
See,
November.
That was November.
I was
That
like,
was November
why
that
were we in front of
we
the
were
TV?
waiting on election results, and we did not find
Yes.
out until the Saturday after
Yeah.
the Tuesday election that
Yeah.
we had a president. And it was almost randomly. I think I gained so much appreciation for John King on CNN and Wolf Blitzer.
Yes. They're so good. They were going back and forth. I
They were
love
going back and
them.
forth. I mean, we were thinking about counties in Pennsylvania and Georgia and Arizona. I mean, if who has talked this much about Maricopa County?
Right.
so so that was the
Unless you're a Raising
entire
Arizona fan,
right.
the
So that
movie.
was really the entire first part of November. And I don't know about you, but then after the election, there was just everyone just needed to take more days to breathe.
Yeah.
And then we were excited because we had the first Black woman um, ever
BP.
become vice president elect of
Yes.
the whole United States. So that was incredibly exciting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. So good. So good. Hey, Diana. See you there. We miss you too.
And then, I'm in Florida. The thing that stood out to me about was November. There was a 14-foot gator that showed up after a hurricane.
In your backyard.
We had you remember the hurricane? It came to Florida, went up, and then came back. So it was the late hurricane that came through
And then
twice, and
came
so
to North Carolina.
and then came in and actually hit you all worse than
Yeah.
it did us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
we
my
didn't
goodness!
put gators in our yard though.
Yeah, 14-foot gator.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, and so I think then we had Thanksgiving, so November really was a blur.
Yeah.
It
was a lot.
was.
It was a lot.
November really was a blur. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? One of the good things about COVID is that it did cause folks to stop, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
To pause. I think a lot of the conversations we're having about race and
Right.
health and equity are because we've been forced to pause and we've been forced to come to some sort of reckoning about the conditions that people live in and have lived in for decades, right? Thinking about equity. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, while it has been a challenge to kind of go through this, tell me, like, Tiff, what are some of the good things though that came out of COVID for you?
All right. Well, first starting with the superficial. One of my favorite things that I hope sticks around very superficially. Okay. You know how you can shop now and then you go up to the store and just press the little button and it says, I'm here. And you pop your trunk and they put the stuff in the trunk
What button are you pressing? And
on your
where?
phone. Like if you do some online shopping now,
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
just drive up to the store and say that you're there
Oh,
and they just come out and put your packages in the trunk.
I see.
That is
That's
my favorite superficial thing to happen from the pandemic. I was thinking about this because, fun fact, there's a rumor. Do you know where the origin of God bless you came from after you sneeze?
No, I don't.
Okay,
something like that.
so the rumor is that originated during the time of the bubonic plague. Okay, so it was if you sneezed and showed a sign that you were sick, that people were saying God bless you, so that you didn't become the next victim of the plague. So that started me to thinking of like what can come out of a pandemic and plagues that are like they're just around for the rest of time, right? For culture. And I was thinking about that and I was like, I sure hope this drive up I'm gonna order something and you can just put it in my trunk sticks around as like a little idiosyncratic thing that might continue out of the pandemic. I don't know if that's what you meant, Karen, but that's what I wanted to start with.
I'm so confused right now.
Well, she said she was starting superficial and then she's going deep.
Superficial.
She's starting
And then I'll
superficial
be deep. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
she's going in. And then
Anyone
she's going
else?
in.
What came from this time that you hope might stick around? The other thing that's going to stick around for me, I'll tell you this, is keeping hand sanitizer in my car
That
and sanitizing whenever I come out of a store, because I always used to wash my hands when I would come home from shopping, but I didn't like sanitize my hands every time, like you were in a store and stuff like you do now. So I'm gonna keep that for sure. And then I had something else, but now I forgot, so maybe I'll remember it.
all right. See, what
Anyway,
about
in terms of deepness, in terms of depth, for me, I'm all about. I love stillness. My nature is a slower pace. Anyway, you know how much value I place on stillness and having a lot of time and space for that, and how very off kilter I get when that is not the norm. So for me, kind of having a lot of stillness has been good. I have enjoyed having weekends with nothing to do with the kids, because I feel like, especially, you get so going, and you're doing the stuff and you're doing the things and, moving and shaking, and then you get to the weekend and you got a million things to do on the weekend, and it's just like, I don't know, before the pandemic, if I ever had whole weekends where we just didn't have anything to do. And it was like, what y'all want to do, And so that has really led to some good time with the kids and with the family. So I really would like to take that out of this experience too. Just to start. Let us know in the chat what you guys are thinking. What do you want to take from this time?
Listeners, folks who are online, let us know what you're taking out of COVID, the COVID 2020-ness, and what you're going to bring with you. Go ahead, Z. What about you?
You know what I want to keep? I actually want to keep the mask. I like the idea.
It reminds me of what I wanted to say. You want to keep masks all the time?
You know what? I'm kind of okay with that. Not, I don't have to do it when I'm at Publix. If there's like really nobody there, but I like the idea of, especially at work, I think I may just keep the mask forever. I always liked masks. I always felt like we should be wearing them in flu season anyway, but I couldn't really, I had no leg to stand on. But now, I mean, I'm just thinking about, why not rock a new mask with an outfit? I think it could be an accessory.
That reminds me of what I was going to say, Zanetta, and that was, I'm here for how now if you're in the store, you're out and somebody coughs or sneezes and everybody turns and stares at them like.
Yes.
And the part I'm here for is not going out when you're sick and spewing your droplets everywhere, because people are not good. Again, in a normal time when everything is go, you're sick, people are sick, I've done it, and you still go out and do your stuff and cough everywhere and sneeze everywhere. So the idea of really making it uncomfortable if you're in public, spewing
you want to normalize that,
people. Yeah, I would.
Let's normalize putting a scarlet letter on people who sneeze. Is that what you're saying? So the other thing that I have appreciated from the pandemic is Netflix.
Okay. Oh, were you not doing Netflix before?
I was doing Netflix, but not as much. So I appreciate Netflix, and I also appreciate the lack of pressure to do things. I don't want to do the play dates. I don't want to do these extra things. So don't invite me.
Wow.
But occasionally, you feel obligated. And you're like, oh, I have to do this because there's no reason for me not to, because I need to get out. And then you always have a good time. But having said that, I don't have to. And like Tiffany said, there's more time. So I can just sit outside, because I am in Florida. I could just sit outside and do nothing. That is the best thing ever. But But, more importantly, I think what the pandemic has helped me realize is how fragile life is and how short life is, and how it is important to keep the people who are close to you close, and to make sure they know how much you care about them, how much you love them. So, to my ladies, Dr. Tiff and Dr. Karen, I could not imagine pandemicking without you.
Oh,
I
just
know, I know. I see my father-in-law on. Pop, pop. I love you. And, I just love my family. And
mhm.
I don't think I always felt the need to express how much I cared about them. But now I want you to know, look, hey, if you're in my group, I mean, I really care about you and you are valuable to me. So the pandemic has taught me that, and to also kind of give your love freely,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know?
I
I'm looking
love
at you.
that.
That's awesome. And, it's in line with, I'm looking at the chat and Dr. Sutton talking about, that she's been chatting with distant family and close friends so much this
Mhm.
year, and she'd like to keep that going. That's kind of one of the things for me,
Mhm.
too. So I'm right there with you, Dr. Sutton, because, you know, I've been able to reconnect with colleagues of mine that I hadn't talked with in years, right?
Right.
And in a different way, not just, every once in a while sending an email, but really seeing each other, interacting. It's been so much fun. I've reconnected with my medical school colleagues that, were my peeps that helped get me through. And that's been absolutely fantastic. So I do think that learning technology has been good, utilizing it, becoming facile with it. And that's one of the things I really want to take with me as well. So for folks on the line, please make sure you're putting in the chat box the things that you're going to take into 2021 with you from this pandemic. The other thing that I feel like has been really good for me is the stillness has really forced me to do a little bit of self exploration. Um,
Mm.
no, Tiffany.
Yeah. Uh-uh.
Mm-mm,
Th
mm-mm,
uh-uh.
I
We
mm-mm.
Okay, let's go. Let's
okay, I'm sorry.
let's unpack that self-exploration.
No, I'm just saying in general, again, when we talk about the nation has had to go through some
Right.
self exploration, I think
Mhm.
stillness helps individuals. I used to travel so much. I remember Z, you were like, man, you're like gone every week. And
Ye
I was
every week.
traveling like a beast. And I loved it. But that busyness keeps you sometimes from doing the work that needs to be done to take you to the next level, right?
Whoa.
Come on now. You know,
Yes.
busyness,
Yes.
busyness will keep you
Keep you
from
from
doing the
doing the
work
work.
that will take you to the next level. And I'm all about leveling up this year. This is the year. And so I am grateful for that. And I will continue to build into my space, to continue to do work. It's not easy.
Right.
Sometimes it downright sucks.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
this is music to my ears. Is this my early Christmas gift?
I
I'm
think
just
it is.
wondering.
I think it is. If it weren't for COVID, we would go in for a hug.
Mm.
No, but the thing about it is, you're right. Busyness, it's easy to sort of run from things. The problem with stillness is you have to confront things. And
Mm.
then once you're either going to have to get real uncomfortable to change them, or you're going to have to live with the fact that, like, but you're not going to do anything about it,
Right.
which is a whole other kettle of fish.
That's a
So,
whole 'nother thing.
right. So, I love stillness. I love the Bible verse, be still and know. Ugh,
Oh,
that just sums up everything, right? Like that's it for me. Be still and know that I'm God. Everything comes from that. But what you were saying, Karen, reminded me of something that I would like to get rid of. Let's just nip this in the bud.
Okay.
Remember how when 2020 was coming, everybody was like, 2020 vision, it's about to be my year. This gonna be my year. And then 2020 just leveled everybody. So never again shall we declare of an upcoming year that we all about to win and level
Yeah.
up. Can we just toast the end of that last year and welcome the new one without talking a whole bunch of stuff about what's about to happen,
Look,
please?
I'm
And
sorry. This
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
the year.
Okay.
I'm just saying. This was indeed supposed to be the year. So
see,
I must say, my year got jacked up, but that's all right. Dr. Z and you and I are going to do 2021 or 2022. But I don't care when it is. But we
That's
about
right. We had plans. We were
right.
supposed to go to Chicago.
Big ones like
there are
this.
no more plans of
We
anything
did.
grand.
Can we backtrack for 1 second? Hey there, Sister Bertha. I see you on the comments, but can we go back to something that Tanya said in the comments about what is she saying? Don't keep in the car. Is she saying hand sanitizer can catch
Hand
fire?
sanitizer. This ain't gonna blow up.
Can we
Tanya,
unpack that a little
fire
bit?
hazard? Let me know.
Can somebody let me know?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I keep mine in the car, so
Me too. Don't kill my vibe.
yeah, please.
Really, please.
I just think this is important, and so if you can come back and give me some information on where I am supposed to store this hand sanitizer, that would be appreciated.
Wait, what does Tanya say? Tanya
She
said,
said yes to the sanitizer. So she'll give us some more information, and we'll be sure to pass that on.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, I
This
see
is
another comment from Tanya. My takeaway is the creativity. Thank you, Ash. My takeaway is the creativity used to gather virtually and stay connected. I love that orgs are still fundraising for scholarships and communities are donating to. Yes, absolutely. And same with what Dr. Sutton was saying too before is that using, seeing family members that you wouldn't normally see and like being able to spend holidays or see sort of extended family members because everyone's so spread out now, and really being able to see extended family members more often and spending holidays with family members that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to see.
Right.
I think I saw my cousin Lisa. Oh yeah, Lisa, that's my cousin. And so so
she was
we've
like, I
been
think I
able
see
to
my
see
cousin
each
Lisa.
other
Oh yeah, Lisa,
a
that's my
lot.
cousin.
She helped me. We collaborated on a Thanksgiving get together, which turned out to be quite spirited, if I do say so myself, with trivia and games. We each did a game for the family, but that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened in other times, right? Because it just would have kind of been me and my parents and kind of not the extended family. I certainly wouldn't have come up with any kind of games to play or anything like that. So those sorts of things have been nice. And yeah, and I wouldn't mind. I mean, I don't want all the Zooms to like all the Zoom meetings, the endless Zoom meetings to continue, but using it for
Zoom is a word that I'm okay to get canceled in
I mean, I like
2021.
it to see, extended family members and
I'm
friends
just saying the
and stuff
word
like that,
itself.
but the word itself.
Like, let's do a Zoom. Like, I just want Zoom going.
As a
There's
verb.
some other words. Yeah, some other words that I'm okay not to take into 2021, and Zoom is one of them.
Do you have any
COVID is
others?
another one.
Oh God, yeah.
All right. So wait.
Let's normalize is another one. I do not like that.
Wow.
You don't like let's normalize?
Let's normalize. We're like normalizing everything. Let's normalize walking to the mailbox. Let's normalize. Over it.
You're being
Tanya says she keeps her sanitizer in the purse. Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. Well, I stopped carrying a purse during COVID, so maybe after the pandemic, when I have a purse again.
Oh, we're gonna have to think about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Look, can we get back to what we're not supposed to be talking about no dang sanitizer. Now, I mean,
continue.
Up in there. But so Kimberly says her takeaway is perspective. Yes. So yeah, our time on this earth is so limited and we got to use it wisely. Amen. Right? A to the men. Now, to that point, here's the other thing I realized. The work will go on without you. Right?
Karen,
whoa!
Are you trying to come for all of my? Am I okay to camera?
So
did we have that on tape? This is live and recorded, correct?
Ashley, I would like a copy of this recording, please, for posterity.
She said the work will
The
go on
work
without
will
you.
go on without you. So you know what? This is about self-preservation.
Yes.
And let me tell you, and I must say,
Tiffany
Tiff,
is speechless. She is
Tiff was
speechless.
one. Tiff was the very first one. She was like, you know what? I'm out, right? I think that has been, for me, one of the beautiful takeaways of 2020. You know, the COVID pandemic has shown that, number one, you can work from home. Ashley and I had this really spirited conversation earlier. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, whatever. I don't know. The days just blurred. But around the fact that, look at that balloon is killing me.
Tiffany, I swear. You see, Karen is pouring out her heart, and you have a big blue balloon that's coming in. We haven't. This is like a TD Jakes moment. Okay. Resume, Dr. Karen.
Okay, we had this conversation about the fact that, people are now working remote. And that's likely going to be a new standard for a lot of places, right? And that means that we're going to have to readjust how we do the work that we do, number one.
Right.
But I also realize I've got to make sure I'm doing the work to keep myself sane mentally. It's been very eye-opening. Again, like I said, you get on the treadmill, you run, run, run. You don't have time to stop and take a breath. But, I've really just been saying, you know what? It's 7 p.m. I'm going to stop working. Because the work is going to be there tomorrow. And even if it doesn't get done tomorrow, like, what's going to happen,
Right.
And I think the difference is I'm not in patient care right now. So it'll be different, I think, when I'm seeing patients. There is the urgency of patient care, right? When we're taking care of our patients, Z, there's a lot of urgency, right, Tiff?
Right.
In the clinic, it's different. You have to handle your business when it's on constantly.
Right.
And I've really just been enjoying the fact that I've not had to take care of patients.
Right.
I think I'm enjoying it a little bit too much. Frankly, I need to get myself back in the clinic. But I think that's an important thing, an important lesson. So having perspective. So thank you, Kimberly, for that.
Yeah, and I think, that's a good lesson to take when you do go back to clinic, right? I mean, you're right. We have to be very urgent when it comes to patient care, obviously, but the other stuff, email, like
doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not staying on a computer till 8, 9 o'clock looking at emails that are not.
Yeah.
It's not doing it, sorry.
And
No.
I think you're taught, I mean, at least it's the American dream is, you have to do this and you have to achieve this and, success looks like this. And I mean, you can lose yourself trying to chase something that you maybe never even wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
And so it really is important to take that time to have the perspective. And one of the things that, we've been talking about in our house is just prioritizing our life based on the things that we want. If we're saying that this is what's important to us, then we need to make decisions that go along that line. It's hard for me to say, "Oh, I want to spend time with my family," but I'm picking up 5 more jobs. That doesn't quite make sense. So I agree. I mean, I think 2020, it was the worst of times, but in some ways it was the best of times because it gave us a chance to reset. And one of the things, I always got to go back spiritually. And I see you, mother-in-law. I love you. I love you. So, so, one of the things that's been a little bit difficult for me is that, I can't remember the last time I set foot in a church space. And so it has forced me that if I want to have a spiritual life, look, I got to go to God. I can't go and hear a choir. I can't necessarily go. So I have to do the work, I have to seek for myself. And so, making sure that I'm doing that and that my family is where we need to be because I don't know when I will. Oh, mother-in-law, love you too. So I don't know when I will set foot in there again, but we still need to have that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think this is, Z Dog dropped off. We'll be back. But I think that's one of the lessons, frankly, for those of us who do have a sense of spirituality, that all of this has been a reminder that church is not a place, right? Church is not a place. And I think that's been part of the challenge that I've had, kind of struggling with some of the spiritual places that I've been involved with. Some of seemed like church revolved around a building, and that's not it. And I think we have church by how we live. We that's what's called being a disciple, right? It's like, how
Yeah.
are we living, and how are we actually showing, what we honor and what's important to us,
Hmm.
how we live our lives, and so that's important.
Yeah, and for me, that was important in terms of having kids too, because then it became like, okay,
Mm,
so not only
mm,
do I have to keep up
mhm,
a spiritual life, but now I got to teach them stuff too.
mhm.
And so that has been interesting and challenging, um, but in the end, a really great lesson for me that I need to take away. Remember that, guys. Everywhere. Yes, that's right. Yes. Um, yeah, just okay, sorry. Dr. Zanetta says she's hopping back on, and I think that was sorry. A lot going on. That was Dr. Z's father-in-law. But anywho, um, what was I saying? Oh yes, teaching the
So much
kids.
good. Yeah.
So and it became, and I was like, oh, because normally this is Advent. Well, this is still Advent, but normally we would have been in church and there would have been an Advent wreath and
Yeah.
we like the candles and all of that. And so today, in fact, I was in the car with them and like they forgot that like we're celebrating the birth of Jesus too with
Yeah.
Christmas. And I
Huh.
was like, oh Lord, so we got to start from scratch again, right? And I've been trying to keep them, give them lessons and all of that, but I was like, all right, well, it's on me. I can't just say we're just going to go to church and see the Advent wreath lit. Like I really
Right.
have to take the responsibility of teaching them myself.
Right. So, mhm.
And I will probably keep that when things go back to normal.
It's all.
Um to be honest. Yeah. One thing that when Zanetta was on and we were kind of talking about priorities, I'll tell you one thing that was super eye-opening to me, and I did it a few years ago. But one of my coaches had me to make a list of your I think you had to take like 5 things or 7 things or something. I don't remember now. But and you had to list these things in order, right? So it was like family, whatever hobbies you have, spirituality, career, work, all of these things sort of in order. And then you had to put how you spent your time
Hmm.
in order.
Yes.
And
Do they
and
link
if
up? Do they link up? Mm, mm, mm. Go
no,
ahead.
and without telling my business, I will say that what was on the top of my list in terms of priorities, and this is being real with yourself. You just like you don't have to say what your priorities are to make other like be real. If your priority is really your career, you can write that down. If your
Look at
priority is
that.
really your family, you can write that down. But
Yep.
then look at how you're spending your time.
Right.
And for me, my lists were completely flip-flopped. And so the things that were at the top of my priority list were at the bottom of how the chunk of time that I was spending on them.
Yeah.
And the things that were on the bottom of my priority list were on the top of like how I was spending my time. And that was huge.
Mm, mm, mm.
Again, there's a problem with stillness in that you have to confront things and then you either gotta like make some uncomfortable big changes or you gotta live with the fact that like you know this but you're not gonna do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me that was like one of the most powerful things I had ever done, that I was like, wow, so the way that I really want to spend my time, I'm just not. And so that was scary to me. It was very scary that like I could wake up in 20 years and spent minimal amounts of time on what I truly valued. So,
Yeah. So Z,
yeah.
did your
Y'all
internet
did
go out?
you know how I was talking about my I was trying to reconnect my spiritual life, and then
Was an
my
alligator? Was an alligator came and
went,
snatched them?
no. So the devil is busy.
He didn't
it,
need to come out.
it
Preachers, this is
had
not
nothing
the
to
way
do
out.
with the fact that I forgot to put a plug in the laptop. Had nothing to do with that.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably be right there with you in a minute, but yeah. So, one of the things that we didn't meet, we didn't have a live last month because Thanksgiving,
Right.
and I know we really wanted to talk about gratitude as well. And because I do think, yes, COVID, yes, there are some lessons learned, but one of the things that you guys taught me, and again, I'm so grateful for both of you in my life. I'm so grateful we started like having our happy hours on Fridays just to vent, and it turned into this podcast because you guys have introduced me to so that have changed my life, including
Oh goodness, what is
Ms.
this?
Brene Brown.
Brene
Oh
Brown.
yes,
Hello. Okay.
yes.
So for those folks who are on and listening and who do not know Brene Brown, please, please look her up. Brene. And she has done TED Talks on vulnerability and talks about shame. And one of
Oh, who froze? Am I frozen?
and I think that's an important thing. A good life happens when you stop and are grateful for the ordinary moments, right? Doesn't have to be looking for the end all be all. We're having some technical difficulties tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you. I missed the deep thought that you just gave because the last thing I heard was Brene Brown.
That's hysterical. And then Z just drops off. You know what? This is
It's
not.
2020. How
There you
else would
go.
we toast the end of this year?
Yes.
How else would we toast the end of this year? Tell us what you said again, though.
What
You
were you
said
talking? I hope you were talking in the interim and didn't just have some dead space.
no. I was like, "Are we frozen?"
He's like, you could have started singing like Z does. Start singing.
2020. I thought it was me. It's usually me.
Well, we're having all kind of swirlies. So listen, Brene Brown, one of her quotes, because she talks about gratitude, really important concept, really important for us to grasp gratitude and what that means. And one of her quotes is that says, "A good life happens when you stop and are grateful for the ordinary moments." The ordinary moments, because so many times we steamroll over them trying to find those extraordinary moments.
Yes.
And it's the little things, just like what you were talking about, being able to spend time with your kids, right? Just being able to have some peace and to be able to sit down and not have to think about work or those sorts of things, or not have to run around and go to the store or go shopping or do whatever because we can't. It's
Right.
the time, the downtime. Those ordinary moments are really important, and that's where there's so much growth and there's so much time to reflect and be grateful for. So, I just wanted to say say to you and Z, Tiff. So, tell me, what is one thing that you were grateful for, like for Thanksgiving? I mean, do you guys have a Thanksgiving tradition around that or no?
No. And we probably should. Well, we do with the kids actually, and they talk about we all go around and kind of say like, what are you grateful for? With the kids, yeah. I mean, it sounds so cliche, but for me, it is really just health, being able to come through this year somewhat intact. The kids are all right. We're okay. Um, that's what I'm most grateful for, really. I mean, that's it.
Awesome.
Hey, Dr. Z, you're back.
Okay. Be grateful for all things. Absolutely. So I
Yeah.
feel like my technology tonight is just
We said this is
2020 has been.
how else would we toast the end of
How
2020
else
other than
Yes, yes.
technical difficulties, everyone
Cheers,
dropping
y'all.
off.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Our glass is empty, and we say this all the time that we don't plan these, right? And we don't. But
We really
like
don't.
seriously, we did not talk to each other like at all before we went live. So yeah,
Looking at the chat box. Hey Frank, how you doing? Frank is one of my
it is what it
neighbors
is.
that I grew up with on Long Island.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So thanks for joining.
Hang in there, Dr. Z. I know it.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I pride myself on not having technical difficulties. So
yeah. So all right. So we were talking about gratitude. So Z, what are you grateful for? Do you have a tradition in Thanksgiving, like to say like what you're thankful for? Any of that?
well, we do. Like we sit around the table and say what we're thankful for. But I will tell you, Thanksgiving is not as important as the Bayou Classic the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Come on and tell us truth, Dr. Z. Come on and tell us truth.
Say
Come on.
that we do
Wow.
the Thanksgiving meal so that we fly into New Orleans to
Come
go
on.
to the Dome. And I will tell you, my Bayou Classic game has stepped up. So our plan from henceforth now and forevermore is not to miss a Bayou Classic
Wow.
and to also have a nice space at the Bayou Classic. So
I'm here for all of that.
it is a homecoming of
Tanya's like, yeah.
Well, look, I got to tell a story about that Tanya was saying. So if you guys remember, Tanya was one of my college roommates who came to New Orleans from New York. So the other day we were texting, and she said, when she was in New Orleans, she used to invite her friends to come down for Bayou Classic weekend because like Thanksgiving, like we weren't even thinking about Thanksgiving. It was all about Bayou Classic.
right.
The weekend after Thanksgiving, and nobody knew.
And
She was like, nobody knew what I was talking about because they were all New Yorkers.
yeah,
But down in the boot, it's like, oh, Thanksgiving, but
Bayou
like we trying to get to Bayou Classic weekend. So
Classic.
So let me ask you guys, when is Essence? Is that that's in
4th of
June or
July.
July? Is it July?
It's 4th
Okay.
of July weekend. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be giving a talk in June. They're hoping it's going to be in person in 2021. I don't know about that, but it's supposed to be in New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but if it was July, then I'd be like, okay, I might need to stay an extra week.
Yeah, no, Essence is July 4th. It's centered around July 4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about gratitude, right?
Yes.
I have so many things to be grateful for.
I just saw your tagline, Z. I'm a mess tonight.
I'm a mess. I'm a mess. And it's not I am a mess. No, I'm a mess.
I got you.
I am just grateful that I have people in my life that I care about and that I know care about me.
Mm.
And I mean, really, material things, they really don't mean anything. They really don't mean anything. It really is just having people in your life that you care about and that care about you. And I'm grateful. Honestly, I'm still grateful for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that people who are dealing with cancer or who are dealing with any kind of illness, you really gain an appreciation of sometimes how short life is, and it really, really helps you every day with perspective.
Yeah.
So I will say that I'm grateful for my patients. I'm grateful for the people that trust me with their care.
I was going to say it is an incredible privilege, right? To take care of someone when they are so vulnerable. That is an incredible privilege. And it's an incredible privilege to be able to meet people like where they are, when we get sort of messages that someone heard this and got a colonoscopy, right? Or someone heard this and scheduled their mammogram. Yeah. Like that's better than, I don't even know. Like that is it as a,
and so I want to just say I'm grateful for all our listeners, the folks who tuned into podcasts, the folks who listen to 3BD, and we have a special message for you guys tonight. I want to say that I'm grateful that our producer has been on point since day one.
We don't deserve Ashley. I told her she's too good for us.
She's fantastic. And so we asked her to roll the special announcement. Are you ready, Ash, producer?
Wing.
Yes. So it's official, y'all. We have a website. What? So thank you very much. Thank you very much to our producer Ashley for not only producing the podcast, but kind of setting us up with the website and really just helping us stay on task. So please make sure that you like, that you subscribe, that you are following us on all social media. So don't forget Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Get us on your podcast so you can get the downloads on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday is going to be a special one. Dr. Z and I get a little vulnerable about some things. And so we really want to tune in and check it out. We talked this past week about exercise because Dr. Tiffany got her lifestyle medicine certificate.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Really proud of you, girl. I know you've been all over that stuff, and so we look forward to seeing what you. So listen, we are so grateful for all of you guys for being here and being with us on this journey. I hope that you will continue to be with us and tune in. So real quick, all right, and I say one thing, Tiff, what you gonna do in 2021? What's your big thing? What do you want to have happen in 2021?
I don't know. Go to Zanetta first. I gotta think.
Oh, you have to think. What do I want to happen in 2021?
What happen in 2021?
You know what? I have no expectations for 2021. I just hope that we keep our perspective and that the country doesn't fall apart.
Well, you know what? I think
I don't ask for much.
Yeah, I'm keeping my expectations low too. I like that, Zanetta. I like that. For 2021, I hope we have widespread vaccinations so we can get back to life somewhat. I will be looking forward to my first trip with the family. We're already planning some sort of travel when this is over. So vaccinations and getting back to some sort of semblance,
Partial normal.
partial normal, but not all the way. Keeping
Right,
some of these
partial.
good lessons, right?
Right.
Keeping some of
Curbside
these
to go
good lessons.
stays.
Please let me shop and just hit I'm here and pop my trunk and put my stuff in my trunk and let me roll. We would ask Dr. Karen, but apparently
It is
so
2020. And in
there you have it.
true
I'm toasting
fashion.
with an empty glass. Dr. Karen is dropped off. That's it. And that's all. Oh, she's
There she
back.
is. There she- This is like a bad joke. This
Well,
and so she is toasting her cup.
she's gonna toast her 50th birthday, which was this year, but we'll celebrate it next year when outside is open up again. That's what I think. All right,
Right.
y'all. Listen, you guys have a great holiday season. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year coming up, and we will see you in 2021. Thank you.
Thanks for joining.